Hey friends, tonight we're stepping outside the warmth of our modern lives, thermostats, hot chocolate and electric socks, and heading into the wild. Not the vacation brochure kind of wild, but the real wild. The kind where winter doesn't just show up, it kicks the door in, eats your food and sleeps in your bed like it pays rent. We're talking sub-zero mornings with no blankets, no walls, and no backup plan. Where everything, and I mean everything, is cold, wet, frozen, or trying not to be dead.
So before you get too cozy, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. But only if you enjoy nature stories told by someone who gets personally offended on behalf of Arctic foxes. Drop a comment. Tell me what the temperature is where you're watching from. Bonus points if you're under 3 layers of fleece right now. Now dim the lights. Let the soft hum of your heater remind you how good you have it, and let's settle into the wildest winter survival story you've never heard. Because nature doesn't have mittens, it doesn't have soup, and somehow it still wins. Let's find out how.
Every year, like clockwork, but far less polite, winter shows up. It doesn't knock, it doesn't call ahead, it just barges in. Flipping tables, freezing rivers, and turning the whole landscape into one big survival exam. And while we rush for puffer coats, heat lamps, and double-shot lattes, nature just gets on with it. No drama, no hashtags, just millions of small creatures quietly going, well, here we go again. Problem with cold, and it's a big one, is that it ruins everything. Water turns to ice, breath becomes frost, food disappears. Even your own body can betray you, cooling faster than you'd think. And yet, across the planet, animals, plants, and even fungi have found ways to fight back. Not loudly, not elegantly, but with quiet stubbornness, refined over millions of years of trial, error, and frozen toes. Take the Arctic fox, cute, fluffy, silent as snowfall, and built like nature's answer to a snowmobile. As temperatures plummet, this little creature doesn't panic. It simply turns white. Not metaphorically, literally. Its brown summer coat shifts to pure snow camouflage, making it vanish into the tundra like a ghost in pajamas. Its fur is so dense it insulates better than a down jacket, including on its paws, which stay warm even when it's trotting across a sheet of ice. But the real trick? Its body shape. Small ears, short snout, round body. Everything designed to conserve heat. There's no wasted surface area. It's a masterclass in biological efficiency, disguised as something you want to hug. And then there's the snowy owl, silent, serious, and slightly judgmental. It watches the landscape with golden eyes that say, I've seen worse. These owls don't just survive winter, they own it. Their feathers go all the way down to their toes. They don't migrate, they don't flee. They sit still, scan the snow for the faintest twitch of movement, and strike with brutal precision. And while we're busy layering up and refreshing weather apps, the muskox is out there shrugging off -40 like it's just mildly inconvenient. Picture a shag carpet with horns. That's your muskox. Its undercoat, called kivyut, is one of the warmest natural fibers on Earth. It's softer than cashmere and 8 times warmer than sheep's wool. They don't build fires, they build themselves. But even they don't go it alone. Musk oxen form tight-knit herds, shoulder to shoulder, facing the blizzard together.
It's not just cute, it's survival. The cold loses its edge when you're wedged between two giant roommates in permanent winter coats. That's a recurring theme in nature's winter playbook. Energy is everything, and wasting it is not an option. Move less, stay warm, blend in, work together, hibernate if you can, or like the Arctic fox, adapt so well that your enemies don't even notice you're there until it's too late. And while we humans tend to measure winter in months and forecast, the creatures out here measure it in calories. One wrong move, one wasted sprint, one exposed paw, and it could be the end. So they plan, they hide, they outwait, and most importantly, they endure. Because when winter is the enemy, nature doesn't fight with fire. It fights with patience, with silence, and with fur so thick it puts our best sweaters to shame. Let's head to the Andes. High-altitude llamas graze on frozen tundra like it's just another Tuesday. Their wool, thick and water-repellent, traps heat even when the temperature drops fast and the wind bites sideways. With wide nostrils and strong lungs, they thrive where oxygen is thin and cold is constant. When you live at 13,000 feet, your survival gear isn't optional. It's built in. Mountain plants like the yareta have their own answer. Grow low, grow dense, and grow slow. These shrubs huddle like green boulders and can live for over 3,000 years. They barely grow an inch a year, but every inch is armored against frost, UV light, and brutal winds. That's the cold's worst enemy. Let's not forget the desert. We wouldn't think cold is a desert problem, but in places like the Gobi, nighttime temperatures crash below freezing. Camels, absurdly adapted and unbothered by contradiction, handle searing heat by day and icy air by night. Their fur fluffs up, their body heat regulation kicks in, and they just keep walking, like they've got somewhere to be and winter's just background noise. Then we have the red pool, a tiny bird that survives Arctic winters by growing extra feathers in its throat. It forms a pouch under its tongue to store food, like a flying pantry. During storms, it dives into snowdrifts and tunnels a sleeping nook. Not hiding from the snow, hiding in the snow. Nature doesn't just cope, it finds loopholes. Imagine you're a salamander in the Appalachian Mountains. Cold rain? No problem. Snow? Trickier. So some species just vanish underground for months, slipping into crevices and going still. Not quite asleep, just waiting. The kind of patience you only earn when your ancestors fought glaciers. And there are fish, yes fish, that survive beneath frozen lakes, where oxygen runs low and light disappears. The Antarctic ice fish doesn't just live in freezing water, it embraces it. It has antifreeze proteins in its blood to stop ice crystals from forming. It swims slowly, deliberately, calmly, like it knows the cold better than we know warmth. Ever heard of bristlecone pines? They live on wind-blasted mountaintops where cold is a constant. Their bark twists like old rope, their needles never drop, and their wood is so dense it resists decay even after death. Some are over 5,000 years old. They haven't just survived winter, they've watched it grow up. There's elegance to how cold shapes behavior too. Wolves, for instance, don't just huddle for warmth. They hunt strategically, conserving energy. They take turns leading the pack through snow. The alpha doesn't always go first. The pack rotates to share the struggle. It's logistics, not bravado, because cold doesn't care who's in charge, only who's smart enough to last. Otters are chaotic good. They have the densest fur in the animal kingdom, up to 1 million hairs per square inch. They trap air in it to stay warm, then float on their backs like smug little survivalists, cracking shellfish with stones. They're adorable, ridiculous, and deeply efficient, an entire energy budget balanced on snacking and smugness. Let's return to the trees for a second. Even evergreens, which keep their needles all winter, adjust their chemistry. They pump sugar into their cells to lower the freezing point. It's basically antifreeze, maple syrup with a grudge. When snow piles up, they bend, not break. Flexibility beats force. Grace beats panic. So much of survival in winter is not about conquering. It's about lasting. About knowing when to act, when to rest, and when to just be still. No one's rushing. No one's showing off. Even predators conserve their motion. A pounce only happens when it must. A flight only when the odds are good. Because in the cold, margin for error is razor thin. You don't get 5 chances, you get 1, maybe 2. So everything is cautious, calculated, quiet. And in that quiet, that deliberate, frost-bitten rhythm is a kind of poetry. And so, while we measure winter in snow days and scarf styles, nature measures it in survival rates and metabolic slowdowns. We push through it with salt trucks and space heaters. Nature pushes through with centuries of genetic tweaks, microscopic chemical tricks, and sheer will. Nature doesn't hate the cold. It doesn't fight it. It absorbs it. It bends. It adapts. It waits. Sometimes it disappears entirely, only to return when the thaw comes. And when it does, it's not weaker, it's wiser. So if you're curled up right now, under blankets, listening to the hum of your heating vents, just remember, out there, something is curled up too. But it's not fragile, it's ancient, it's ready, it's winning. Thanks for spending this time in the cold with me. I hope it felt warm. I'll see you in the next story, hopefully one with soup. Stay warm, stay wild,